Good morning, everybody. I am here on time and raring to go. It is FTG Thursday on the Morning Night Live, and I have a few. FTGs to. We're going to focus on FTGs. I'm going to try to make this something that I get better at, and just picking out stories specifically for that. So we might not be talking about as much timely news, but just trying to think about what's happened over the last week and who can we give out some FTGs to. So if you have some suggestions, feel free to drop one or two in the chat. And if I can, I'll get to some of those too. If you have a link, put a link, and I'll open the link, and we'll see if we can get to that. But anyway, it is FTG Thursday. I've got the reparations coffee in hand. We're almost ready to go. Right after I play the intro. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I am your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet, and welcome back to the PDawg Knight Channel. It is Thursday, the 3rd of December, 2020, 28 days, and it's over, people. 28 days left until we can say happy 2021. I'm thinking of maybe coming up with a shirt or something that says I survived 2020, because so far I have, but I should probably wait before I do that, because holy shit, you never know. There's a lot of year left. 27 damn days. Anyway, 28 days. If I go 28, that'd be 31, and then we'll be on to January 1st. Anyway, welcome everybody. Let's say hi to people in the chat and we'll get it rolling. First in the chat today is James PFP, who gets the bell. Good morning, sir. Also, good morning, Stabbing Joe Scarborough, Donatello Slapafellow, Maniac Man, Maddie, who says, yep. She's excited because didn't you finish your book? Didn't you do that on Friday? I got to check that out. Runs to make the list. Okay. Also, good morning, Duck Dog. Woo! Time for pants off, dance off. I don't know what that means. I wear pants every day on the show. No, really, I do. Yeah, I'm wearing pants. Okay. Also, good morning, DI Freighter Watcher. Select a boy.
Yeah, boy.
Also, the one who, formerly known as the one who tubes. Good morning, Jesse Leon. Good morning, Tyrai Deos, Advocatus Diaboli, Aaron Meredith. I just said Jesse Leon. I almost said Jesse Leon twice. Annal Ends in the house. Katie the Skate. And of course, the chat jumps on me. Good morning to John Arnott, who says, good morning, people. Good people. Good morning, Cynical Lindsay. Good morning. Am I running out of names here? I might have done the whole dang thing. Check your logic. Nice to see you here early. I know sometimes you come a little later in the show, but you're here on the dot. And Don Keating, Gulf City Biker, and Trash Man's in the house. The pissed off Shih Tzus here. People are rolling in, and that's a great thing. If you like what we do during the show, remember to hit the like button, share the stream out. You know, the arrow down there or the thing up there, that stuff. You can do it at one of those places, and we'll just have a lovely day today. Anyway, so how's everyone doing? It's almost Friday. The weekend's almost here. This weekend, we have some friends coming over. Not too many. Hello, BG. Nice to see you. Lurking down there. Good. We're gonna have some friends come over. So my son's significant other, her sister got engaged, and we're good friends with her parents. We were good friends with her parents before my son and her started dating. So, we've been. They used to come to all my son's basketball games and all this stuff long before my son and their daughter started dating. So one of their other daughter got engaged. It's also a birthday in their family, and that's also. And also their mom's retiring, and we're like, oh, well, let's just have a small little quaint party. at our house, and we'll make some international. We'll have an international themes. We'll make a bunch of international foods that Lady Boomer is doing all that. I am going to grill a giant salmon fillet with some Old Bay and dill, and have a little smoke going on the side so it has a little smoky flavor to it. But I don't know what Lady Boomer's doing. Everything else. She's got some special cheeses, and she's got all this stuff. She's making something called brown flour soup or something like that. I don't know. That's something in Switzerland. I have no idea. She's got themes. She's got stuff. She's like doing all these European specialty foods, and we're going to do several courses and stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's good. My only concern is, with they have all these COVID restrictions for Thanksgiving, and I'm thinking, am I going to get in trouble for having people over at my house? Are the police coming? If I say this out loud, is the FBI going to look me up and call my local police department and tell them PDawg's having some guests over? I sure hope not. I sure hope not. Anyway, good morning, GunFox61. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. Nice to see you guys in the chat also. So anyway, we're gonna do our thing. And good morning, Attack Alpaca also. So anyway, hopefully that's what we're gonna do on Saturday. And I've been working crazy hours. I'm probably gonna have. Whoa. Hey, there we go. There's our first donation. Our first donation of the day. Interesting. I think this name is very interesting here. I'm thinking ostomy. I've never heard. Anyone know the origin of the name ostomy? That's a fascinating name. Anyway, thank you, Colostomy, who says with the 223 in the via Streamlabs, who says Mad Max took place in 2021. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Ouch, babe. Is that really? When they wrote Mad Max, that took place in 2021? Oh, good Lord. I might have to make some modifications to my F-150. I'm just saying, some spikes and maybe maybe I'll have to put a supercharger in it and get some bigger tires, because holy shit, I did not know that. Anyway, thank you, Colostomy. God. I think you know what? I'm pretty sure ostomy is a Filipino name. I think Cole is from the Philippines, and colostomy. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, good morning, Rodline. Good morning, James Colley. Nice to have you pop in the chat. And Lauren Stanhope, outstanding. Dude, you just came up with a new form of swatting. Call the cops and tell them your asshole neighbors got 50 people over. Oh, no. Oh, you got to get back to work. Okay, well, Gunfox, thanks for popping in. Gunfox, the administrator of my Discord server, and we greatly appreciate that. And boy, if you want to check out some news, you got to go check out the Discord server. Hello, Ebony Williams. How are you, my friend? Nice to have you here. All right, let's... Philippine names are Spanish. Well, not all of them. Some are. Not all of them. And my aunt is from the Philippines. Anyway. All right, let's get into it's FTG Thursday, and I just pulled out a slew of stories where we can take part in FTG Thursday. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying. So now, interesting enough. Oh, real quick, let me check this notifications real quick. Thank you, Becca Fairley, Maddie, Tyler F, and Necrosaw Collins for tweeting out the show. I greatly appreciate it. Please share the show. Please share the show. Maddie does that every day. Becca Fairley almost every day. A lot of you do that every day. I greatly appreciate it. So there you go. And good morning, Aaron Meredith. All right. So yesterday, this article popped up. Apparently, Barack Obama upset some progressives. And, whatever you think about Barack Obama, every once in a while, he does something that I can cheer him for. And this might be it. So anyway, he went out. He was, I don't know, what was this on? Was he giving a speech? Let's see. It was an interview. He had an interview with Peter Hamby. I think Peter Hamby's of CNN, right? And here, I'll put the article up on the screen here. That'll make it easier for you to follow along. So Obama said, you lose people with snappy slogans like defund the police. Now, when I first saw this headline, I laughed my ass off because the irony. Wow, did I squeak there? The irony. Yes, I did. I did it again. The irony of Barack Obama talking about snappy slogans, Mr. Hope and Change, it just made me chuckle a little bit. Anyway, so former President Obama said political candidates lose support when using snappy slogans like defund the police in an interview scheduled to be released Wednesday. Obama told Peter Hamby, who hosts a Snapchat political show. There's a Snapchat political show? Holy shit, I've never heard of it. That's hilarious. A Snapchat political show. Okay, now I've never used Snapchat, and isn't that the one where like you put things on it and it disappears? Well, apparently you can do a Snapchat political show now. Good morning, Wikipedia snippet, by the way. That's hilarious. Told Peter Hamby, used to be from CNN. Maybe Peter Hamby got fired from CNN. Maybe that's why. Anyway, the political show Good Luck America, that those who use the slogan could jeopardize their goals of enacting meaningful reform for police. Now, Black Lives Matter. Yes, that's a snappy slogan. Hope and Change. That was definitely a snappy slogan. There's all kind. Anyway, Antifa. I don't know if that's an anti-snappy slogan, but it's a snappy name for and a complete and utter misnomer. But anyway, he said, "You lost a big audience the minute you say it, which makes it a lot less likely that you're actually going to get the changes you want done," the former president said in an interview scheduled to go live at 6 a.m. on Wednesday, according to Axios. So it did happen yesterday. The key is deciding, do you want to actually get something done, or do you want to feel good among the people you already agree with, Obama added. The former president's comments align with other top Democrats who have considered the phrase to be damaging to the Democratic Party. House Majority Whip James Clyburn told NBC News Meet the Press last month that he believed the slogan hurt some Democratic candidates like Joe Cunningham in South Carolina, who lost to Representative-elect Nancy Mace. Well, yeah, because it's stupid. And I gotta tell you, people in places with high crime don't want you to defund the police, because it comes off like you're saying, oh, defund the police. But you mean, how are you going to have police if they have no funds? It was dumb from the beginning, as far as I'm concerned. But apparently that didn't sit too well with, guess who? The squad. It's not a slogan. It's a mandate. Progressives push back on Obama's defund the police. Progressives, including most members of the Democratic Socialist Squad, fired back at President Barack Obama Wednesday, torching the former leader over his comments deriding the far left for advocating to defund the police, a slogan which Obama and other experts believe had a widespread negative impact on Democratic success in down-ticket and statewide elections. Speaking to a Snapchat audience Tuesday night, Obama mocked efforts to defund the police. Well, now it's interesting because the Hill article didn't say he mocked the efforts, but this article says he mocked the efforts. Maybe that's why the squad is a little salty. Anyway, deriding Democrats for adopting the slogan and then suggesting they had no real intention of defunding any police department, using defund the police instead as a code for reforming law enforcement and panicking voters. Well, yep. That I would panic some voters. Hello, Gamer Valine. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you for a while. You're welcome back. He said, I'm just skip down a little bit. Some Democrats indeed admitted after noticing how deeply unpopular defunding and disbanding police departments was among key voters, including minority voters, that they had no intention of actually defunding the police. But far left progressives like Representative Ilhan Omar, Democrat, Minnesota, and Representative Rashida Tlaib insisted Wednesday that they fully intend to follow through on their promise to end racist policing. Omar was the first to fire back, tweeting, quote, "We lose people in the hands of the police. It's not a slogan, but a policy demand. And centering the demand for equitable investments and budgets for communities across the country gets us progress and safety." Tlaib suggested in her own tweet that Obama was threatening the legacy of civil rights crusader Rosa Parks by siding with law enforcement against progressive reformers, or suggesting that the far left wasn't seriously considering a defund the police platform. What the hell is she talking about? What the hell is she talking? Threatening the legacy of civil rights crusader Rosa Parks. No. Hello, Mr. No. that was great timing. And also Kay Shull, how you doing? No, you don't. You're not threatening the legacy of Rosa Parks. There's no threatening the legacy of Rosa Parks. I'm sorry, there's not. What the hell are you talking about? Now, she said, oh, I see. She says Rosa Parks was vilified and attacked for civil disobedience. She was targeted. Okay, look. Rosa Parks, very thought out and planned protest. Who exactly are you talking about that vilified her? She has been a national hero, or was a national. She's no longer with us. She's known as a national. She's celebrated. Even at the time, she was a symbol and celebrated in most circles. Now, maybe in that little town that she was in, she might have been vilified and attacked. Holy shit. She continues, "It's hard seeing the same people who uplift her courage attack the movement for Black lives that want us to prioritize health and funding of schools and ending poverty rather than racist police system." You know, can we have both? Look, people who live in crime-filled areas, dangerous areas, they don't want to defund the police. They want more police. Except for this little, what's a good word for this? This little pipe dream of kumbaya and no police, okay? Now, the movement that has been born of these man bite dog events, these very rare relative to everything else that happens in the world. They're not good events, but they are rare. Otherwise, they wouldn't know every single name And not it's funny because the events actually in the big picture, not only are they rare, but they're elevated every time. And the problem, my whole problem with the movement, as she speaks here, is that we completely ignore the things that are taking the most Black lives. And I'm not going to get on a rant about that, but the movement, defunding, I understand they want to fund other things, but then you need to, that's what you're politicians, right? Aren't you the ones who help fund other things? You don't take one from one and make the other better without destroying one. Now, can there be reforms in policing? Absolutely. I don't know what those reforms exactly need to be, but it's not the funding the police that is the problem. Let's put it that way. Representative Ayanna Pressley, Democrat, Massachusetts, also a key member of the squad, added that she and other progressives were out of patience with Obama's rhetoric. Oh, well. He's Barack Obama, damn it. And I don't think you're going to, tarnish his reputation with other Democrats. Sorry. She says the murders of generations of unarmed Black folk by police have been horrific. Oh my God. The murder of generations of unarmed Black folk. That rhetoric alone, in my personal opinion, is off base. Just because every one of them that has happened over the last 10, 15 years have been elevated in the press and made into these high profile cases. I bet they couldn't name one kid who was murdered in Cleveland last week, or in Philadelphia, or in Baltimore, or in Los Angeles, or Chicago, or Cincinnati, or Kansas City, or Omaha, or Dallas. You know what? In fact, you know what's... If you just went into the number of local rappers who've been murdered this year, just if they're not nationwide, there's a lot of local rap scenes, right? Do you know there's this huge rash of young rappers being murdered in cities across America. Did you know that? Have you heard anything about this story? In several major cities, especially in Philadelphia, especially in Chicago, especially in Dallas right now, there have been these, it's almost like Crips and Bloods, but it's local rappers. There's the local rap scenes, not even gangbangers. It's rappers. They make videos talking about who they're going to smoke next and how we smoked your friend and all that. Have you heard anything about this other than on local news? Now, if you go into local news in any of these cities, you'll hear about it. You'll hear about it on the local news every night. Someone shot. Did you know that there were so far this, just as of last week or a week and a half ago, there have been 21 mass shootings in Philadelphia? Have you heard about any of them nationally in national news? But she's talking about murders of generations of unarmed Black folks. There's definitely murders of generation of Black folks And about 0.03% have been these police incidents. It's frustrating. Good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Good morning, MC.
Stop. Hammer time.
Good morning, Zach Osborne. I'm catching up here. So when they start talking about this sentence is ridiculous. When you actually talk about the numbers, I mean, when a politician says a sentence like, I'm going to tell you, here's the sentence again. The murders of generations of unarmed black folks by police have been horrific. That sounds like they're a genocide by police officers. That's what it sounds. Didn't that make it sound like that? She says, lives are at stake daily, so I'm out of patience with the critiques of the language of activists. Whatever a grieving family says is their truth. And I'll never stop fighting for their justice and healing. Okay. Massachusetts, how many people have been murdered in the Boston area this month? Representative Presley? Representative Cori Bush, Democrat, Missouri, another city where it's out of hand. There's been rappers being killed. And I'm talking like 10, 15 this year in St. Louis. Representative Cori Bush, Democratic Missouri, may have been the most adamant, firing back at Obama, claiming that defund the police is not a slogan, but a mandate. Guess what? Ask your constituents if they what they feel about your mandate. Huh? Ask your constituents, not the activists, but just the day-to-day people in the neighborhood, where probably in your neighborhood or the neighborhood they live in, where there's people murdered every damn day. It's not by the police, because if it were the police, it would be on the news nationwide, because oh, this is maddening. This is maddening. Good morning. Hello, Rod Line and None Bus. How you doing? Yeah, look at it. Now listen to this. I'm gonna continue. He said, with all due respect, Mr. President, let's talk about losing people. We lost Michael Brown Jr., we lost Breonna Taylor, we're losing our loved ones to police violence. Listen to the two people he named. Listen to the two names he gave us. Michael Brown Jr. What year did Michael Brown Jr. Michael Brown. Shooting of Michael Brown. What was the date? Let's see. August 9th, 2014. You brought up an example from August 2014, and then Breonna Taylor, which was that earlier this year? Thank you. This is Kyle with the $2 through YouTube Super Chat, who says, hello, chat people and PDawg. Well, hello, Kyle. How are you, my friend? Nice to have you here. He brings up Michael Brown Jr. from August 2014. And even Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor, when was that? When did was that March? Here, let's check out Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor. What date was that? March 13th, 2020. That was 9 months ago. 9 months ago. Murders of generations of unarmed black folks by police have been horrific. You know why you don't have you know why you couldn't come up with something a little more recent? Because it doesn't happen. It's extremely rare. You can't think of the name. You only think of the names that make the national news. Progressive. We're losing our loved ones to police violence. It's not a slogan. It's a mandate for keeping our people alive. Thank you, John Ardot, for the $2 through Super Chat with no message, but you are greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the donation. Keeping our people alive. Keeping our people alive. Where are you when all the other people, when the rest of our people are dying? Number one demographic of murder victims by far. 50% of all murder victims are black people. I'm going to repeat that again. 50%. Actually, I think this year it's like 56%. 56% of all murder victims are black in the United States right now. And I bet you couldn't name 10. And again, I bet, I'm going to guess there were 10 yesterday. And you're talking about Breonna Taylor and Michael Brown. Michael Brown, justified shooting. Breonna Taylor would be alive if her boyfriend didn't start firing at the police. She didn't die in her bed. That's a myth. Is it a tragedy? Absolutely. But there's a reason that they haven't been charged. It's based on the facts. Michael Brown, good Lord. Progressive efforts to defund the police, particularly at the state and local levels, have largely failed. Oh, thank you, by the way, formerly Rod Line, $4.99 through Super Chat, who says, a life taken is always sad, but the number of actual incidents doesn't back up the massive deaths they are claiming. No, it doesn't at all. Again, the police shootings of unjustified. Listen, let me back this up. Because even police shootings of black people are minuscule when compared to the number of murders, but especially unjustified police shootings of black people. Because sometimes they like to fudge that all together. Oh, 256 people were killed by police. Oh, how many were unjustified? 6 or 4? Or maybe 9 are ambiguous and made headlines? So anyway, this article just goes on to tell you other places where they've done some defunding the police, whatever. But FTG, first FTG today goes to the squad. Good Lord. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Good morning, Moon-Based Radio. How you doing? Renee Mayette. Oh, Renee, I'm sorry. I saw you earlier. Good morning. Also, good morning to your ridiculous lunatic. And I think I'm caught up on people in the chat. And also, if you're watching, lurking, driving, whatever in the background, but not participating in the chat, I'm glad you're here too. Everyone's welcome. And remember, share the stream. All right. So anyway, good Lord. Next on the FTG board is everyone's favorite's pencil neck. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. Oh, Special Can Acid. Hello. I'm sorry. And Fight for Your Rights. Hello. Zombie Teddy. Hello. Sapphire Dragon. Hello. I'm glad you're all here. Anyway, next up, Adam Schiff poked his head out of the hole he lives in. Mr. Pencil Neck himself. He's a little bit miffed because remember, Adam Schiff was very, very supportive of the Mueller probe. Remember that? Robert Mueller probe and trying to railroad the president and trying to figure out, he's colluded with the Russians. And Adam Schiff said, we absolutely have. I've seen the evidence, he said. That was his quote. I've seen the evidence that the president absolutely colluded with Russia, that they didn't have any evidence. And Adam Schiff looked like an asshole, but he always does. Anyway, Adam Schiff. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I never said this, but colostomy.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Thank you so much. Okay, Adam Schiff, who championed the Mueller probe. Oh, he opposes the Durham appointment as a special counsel. Oh, shocker. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff, one of the leading proponents of Robert Mueller's special counsel investigation, said Tuesday he opposes Attorney General William Barr's decision to appoint U.S. Attorney John Durham as a special counsel in an investigation into the origins of the Trump-Russia probe. In an interview on MSNBC, Schiff suggested that the Attorney General in the Biden administration should assess Durham's mandate and decide whether to allow the prosecutor to continue his investigation. Not so easy. In an appointment secretly conferred on Durham. Oh, is this Schiff saying this? An appointment secretly conferred on Durham prior to the election, Barr is using the special counsel law for a purpose it was not intended. Oh, really? Please, let me continue. He said, to continue a politically motivated investigation long after Barr leaves office? That sounds familiar. That sounds extremely familiar. What was that? Hey, what was that thing that Robert Mueller was investigating? What was that? Yeah, that's what I thought. Remember? To continue a politically motivated investigation long after Barr leaves office? Oh, my God. Schiff said in a statement on Tuesday after Barr said he had appointed Durham to the special prosecutor role on October 19th. It is a stark about-face for Schiff, who was once Congress' most vocal defenders of the special counsel investigation led by Mueller, a former FBI director. Schiff called on lawmakers in September 2000. Well, we know the story behind this. FTG, Adam Schiff. That's just too damn easy. I know it's too easy, but FTG him anyway. Fuck that guy. Anyway, all right. Like I said, it's an FTG day. I have more. Oh, we have more. Let's see. So let's talk about let's talk about the city of San Francisco. This is fascinating. Now, I am not a smoker. I do not smoke tobacco. I do not smoke weed. I do not smoke pipes. I do occasionally have a cigar on a special occasions, but I'm not a smoker. However, people who smoke, as long as people who smoke are considerate of the people around them who may not smoke. Like, I don't enjoy smoke around me when I'm eating, even if I'm outdoors or whatever. And people have become smokers that I know are generally pretty considerate, I would say. But there's an issue in the city of San Francisco because the city of San Francisco has done something that I find, well, I don't know if it's sad or hilarious. San Francisco bans smoking tobacco in apartments, but allows weed. San Francisco Board of Supervisors voted Tuesday to ban smoking in apartment buildings, but made an exception for marijuana, the San Francisco Chronicle reported. Supervisor Norman Yee brought forward the original measure, which included a ban on smoking weed last week with the intent of protecting non-smokers from inhaling secondhand smoke inside apartment complexes. After pro-marijuana activists spoke out against the prohibition, however, the board passed an amendment that allows renters to smoke weed in their units. Those who smoke tobacco products will have to step outside. Activists claim the original measure would have essentially criminalized weed in apartment complexes who cannot smoke outside because smoking marijuana in public is illegal in California. The amendment to exclude weed from the ban passed 8-3, and the ban as a whole passed 10-1. It will again face the board next week for a secondary vote, a formality before it reaches the mayor's desk. San Francisco's largest city in the United States to ban smoking within apartment buildings, according to the Chronicle. Look, I understand that they worry about secondhand smoke, but if I'm renting an apartment that allows smoking, I should be able to smoke in my apartment. I'm sorry. It's, or now, see, the thing is, maybe I understand the reason why they might have excluded weed, but I would guess if they actually did some studies on smoking weed and smoking cigarettes, there's probably similar issues with both. Let me explain to you how smoking works, okay? What you're doing is you're taking a organic product and you dry it out, and then you light that organic product, and see what happens when you light that organic product and you make it burn and you get the smoke. Do you realize that you're getting the waste of the product burning into your body? Okay, the waste product is going into your body, and then you exhale it, and some of that waste product stays in your body, but some of it comes out in the form of smoke, because the smoke goes in and some of it sticks in there and goes out. So they're both products that do that kind of thing. Now, I don't know if weed is weed puts in more resin. I don't know, but FTG City of San Francisco. I'm sorry. That sounds like a silly law to me. Anyway, anyone else? Does anyone think that's a good idea? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Okay, but hey, they're letting. All right, let's move on. I don't know if you saw this story. Weed definitely stinks a lot more. At least the shit I smoke. Well, you might get better quality weed, fight for your rights. You need to hit a dispensary in Las Vegas or Colorado or wherever. By the way, well, I want to talk. And don't bring any damn edibles and hiding them in Sour Patch Kids things. Hello, Joe Biden's in the house. Good morning, Joe Biden.
Come on, man.
Also known as Uncle Bad Touch. Does that bother you, Uncle Bad Touch, that I call you Joe Biden every time you come here? Okay, we all know that it's really not Joe Biden. It's Uncle Bad Touch. Anyway, all right. Next up on the docket here, like I said, it's by the way, if you're just getting here, it is FTG Thursday. I decided that I'm going to make sure that on FTG Thursdays, I have plenty of FTGs, and so a lot of the articles may not be the latest news, but it is news where we can say fuck that guy, or fuck that gal, or just fuck that group. Anyway, this one's interesting. While lecturing on Americans on racism, because how the companies are all getting woke, a big business opposes ban on using foreign slave labor. Have you heard about this? Some of the largest American companies, including Apple, Nike, and Coca-Cola, are actively lobbying the U.S. Congress to weaken legislation that would bar the import of products made with Uyghur forced labor in Xinjiang province, China. These corporations are opposing there's a bill right now in Congress. It's the bipartisan Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, which passed the House of Representatives 406-3 in September and is now under consideration in the U.S. Senate. The goal of the bill is to ensure that goods made with forced labor in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region of the People's Republic of China do not enter the United States market. And there are companies lobbying against this bill. Since Beijing has so far ignored international condemnation of its treatment of Uyghur Muslims, the bill hopes to use economic pain to force Beijing to change its behavior. It also includes a provision to hold publicly traded companies accountable by prosecuting for securities violations the companies found to use forced labor from Xinjiang in their supply chains. With the wealth of information available on the internet age, no publicly traded American company's leaders can pretend ignorance of what's going on in Xinjiang. Since 2017, the Chinese Communist Party's human rights violations against Uyghur Muslims have been widely reported, including its mass incarceration of more than 1 million. That's just staggering. More than 1 million Uyghur Muslims and other minorities, the majority of whom have committed no crimes. And draconian measures against Uyghur women that involve subjecting them to frequent pregnancy checks, forcing the use of intrauterine devices and sterilization, and forced abortion on hundreds of thousands. All Uyghurs are also subject to intense political indoctrination, whether they are in internment camps, whether in an internment camp while watching their cultural heritage be bulldozed and erased. What the Uyghurs are experiencing is a government-led systematic ethnic cleansing. Communist China's cruelty doesn't stop there. After erasing the Uyghurs' cultural and ethnic identity, destroying their homeland, and separating families and loved ones, the CCP wants to squeeze out the last drop of economic value of every Uyghur. A report by the Australian Strategic Policy Institute shows that Uyghurs who survived internment camps still cannot get their freedom and dignity back. Instead, the Chinese government has facilitated mass transfers of Uyghurs from Xinjiang to factories across the country. The report estimates that between 2017 and 2019, at least 80,000 Uyghurs have become forced laborers this way. And this is from the Australian Strategic Policy Institute. In factories far from home, they typically live in segregated dormitories, undergo organized Mandarin and ideologically training outside working hours, are subject to constant surveillance, and are forbidden from participating in religious observances. And these transferred workers are assigned minders and have limited freedom of movement. Now, for whom are these forced laborers working? Factories in the supply chain of at least 82 well-known global brands in the technology, clothing, and automotive sectors. The full list of companies includes some of the same American companies that have been using their corporate brands and financial power to push for social justice, education, and addressing racial inequality in America. Similarly, Apple CEO Tim Cook made it known that Apple would spend $100 million on a new company initiative dedicated to racial justice. Cook also said publicly that forced labor is abhorrent. And Apple would terminate a supplier relationship if it were found. When presented with evidence, however, Cook and other leaders of big American corporations have turned a blind eye to the injustice millions of Uyghur Muslims and other ethnic minorities have to endure. The ASPI report found that at least 600 ethnic minority workers from Xinjiang were employed in Qingdao Taekwang Shoes Company Limited, a supplier of Nike. They make Nike shoes during the day. In the evening, they attend a night school where they study Mandarin, sing the Chinese national anthem, and receive vocational training, quote unquote, and patriotic education. See, now when Trump said that, I began to cringe, but I know his version may be a little bit different. Anyway, the curriculum closely mirrors that of Xinjiang's re-education camps. The same report also found thousands of forced Uyghur laborers working for at least a dozen Apple contractors, including O-Film, an Apple contractor Cook visited in 2017. In a now deleted press release, Cook praised O-Film's humane approach towards employees. Way to go, Tim Cook. Oh my God. Now, just as companies such as Apple and Nike continue to lecture Americans on its original sin of slavery, they act as if some forced labor and some forced form of racial injustice are acceptable if it affects their bottom lines. Their main argument has been that legislation like the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act will upset their Chinese supply chains. Oh, I feel so awful for them. Thank you, Rodline, with the super chat via YouTube, who says, can you imagine companies fighting for labor from those old German camps? We have strayed quite far from a solid moral compass. Yeah, ain't that the truth. Thank you, Rodline. Appreciate the $4.99 through YouTube super chat. That hell, yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? The hypocrisy of these companies is appalling. Unfortunately, they are not the only ones who are morally bankrupt. There is a growing evidence that in their quest for short-term profit and market access to China, some American companies have not only pretended they don't see forced labor, but also actively provided the CCP products and technologies that have helped bolster the CCP's quest to build a high-tech surveillance state in Xinjiang. Can anyone say the NBA, perhaps? So I'm gonna leave the rest of this article up. It will be in the daily. I don't know what to call this anymore. It's the One Touch link that'll be in the description down below, and I'll also put it on the Discord server. But if you want to read the rest, yeah, it's not good. And these companies lobbying. Oh, by the way, we got several. FTG. Let's see. We got, so far in this thing, we got Nike. Well, Nike and Apple. And FTG Tim Cook. There we go. Let's see. Who else did they name any other companies here? Nike, Apple, Coca-Cola. Why does Coca-Cola make in China? I don't know, man. Seagate Technology, Intel, Hewlett-Packard. Holy God! They're the ones who've nurtured, courted, and profited from China's surveillance industry and have provided components, financing, and know-how. China's supercomputers, the ultimate tech symbol of a totalitarian state and used by the CCP to process massive amounts of data collected by millions of surveillance cameras, are powered by cutting-edge microchips made by Intel and NVIDIA. Oh my gosh. That's just sad. I'm going to read the rest of this. According to Paul Moser, Asia correspondent for the New York Times, NVIDIA's co-founder Jensen Huang regarded Beijing's push towards a surveillance state as a wonderful business opportunity for his company. I can't even. Oh my gosh. NVIDIA even bragged that a surveillance system it helped build in Xinjiang has led to high customer satisfaction. Well, your customers, the Chinese government. My God.
China is asshole.
The Uyghurs, Oh God, this is so. The Uyghurs were unavailable for comment, but would perhaps beg to differ. Unfortunately, the CCP is not just satisfied with having total control of the Chinese people, but also has exported surveillance equipment and technologies to more than 60 nations around the world, aiding other authoritarian states in cracking down on dissenters. In an approach that is part of the CCP's Digital Silk Road strategy, the Chinese government often subsidizes the purchases of its regressive technology in exchange for receiving all the data collected. Enabling, like TikTok, anybody? Enabling China to exert greater influence and control by making other nations economically and technologically dependent. Sometimes, however, an American company's over-eagerness to acquiesce to the CCP's demand hits home. The Wall Street Journal reports when a senior executive at Airbnb raised alarms about the data company shares with the CCP, including information on Americans traveling in the country. Airbnb's co-founder Nathan Blakarczyk responded, quote, "We're not here to promote American values." All right, hang on. Let me just pause for a minute. What's his name? FTG Nathan BLECHARCZYK. Fuck that guy. Tellingly, as Airbnb prepares for its initial public offering, its filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission shows, quote, China growth and quality, end quote, was one of 7 metrics that determined bonuses for Airbnb's top executives in 2019. Holy shit. Instead, American companies need to realize quickly that promoting and defending American values is both good and necessary for their survival. Indeed, Blakarczyk and other American business leaders should remember what made their company successful in the first place: a free exchange of ideas, freedom of expression, freedom of religion, free markets, and the rule of law. CCP has been actively working on undermining American values and is doing everything in its power to replace leading American companies with homegrown ones. As U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr warned American companies last summer, if American corporations continue to bow to Beijing, they risk undermining both their future competitiveness and prosperity, as well as the classical liberal order that has allowed them to thrive. For their long-term success and prosperity, American companies ought to take this warning seriously. Absolutely. Wow. Airbnb, huh? And I enjoy my Airbnb. I've used it quite often, although I'm pretty sure that everyone's taking a beating in that idea. Speaking of wokeness, though, we're kind of going to stay on that theme for a minute here. Let me make this fit. Let's see real quick. This article from American Spectator is called "Woke NASDAQ Should Mind Its Own Business." The prominent stock exchange plans to require token women, minorities, and LGBTQ people listed in companies' leadership. Just another. Okay, so the idea is, as far as I'm concerned, it's a noble idea, sort of, but it's a stupid idea at the same time. When I walk into my local supermarket, I see products from big companies like Kellogg's and Campbell's, from smaller companies like Dave's Killer Bread and Edwards and Sons, and occasionally from local companies getting started in the business of providing food to the world, or at least to the neighborhood. Real quick, thank you, Gamer Valine, $4.99 through YouTube Super Chat, says, to sell in China, the tech companies have to make something there. Intel sold their solid state business, but still have operations here. Holy shit. They have their solid state businesses in China now, which I'm not a fan of anything you do over there. They just steal and then and whatever. Their intellectual property theft is prolific. Anyway, so this person's talking about when they go to the supermarket, they see products from big companies and small, occasionally from local companies just getting started in the business of providing food to the world, or at least to the neighborhood. What I don't see is Safeway or Kroger issuing edicts to those companies telling them how to run their business. Why would they? After all, it's literally none of their business. Just as a supermarket and so many other kinds of stores is a clearinghouse for products for which there is supply and demand, so a stock exchange is a clearinghouse for pieces of ownership in companies, also known as shares. There are small differences. Initially, a store usually buys the products it sells to customers, whereas an exchange has no ownership stake in the companies it lists. Also, a store typically does not sell to and buy from the same people, whereas on an exchange, any given person or firm can be a buyer or a seller at any time. But fundamentally, a store and an exchange serve the same role, and in that role, they have zero authority, ethically or legally, to tell their suppliers, food producers, or companies whose shares trade there respectively, how those firms must operate other than to comply, on the one hand, with relevant rules and regulations regarding food content and safety, or on the other hand, with designated accounting standards, capital requirements, and the like. These requirements are only superficially dissimilar. They share a goal of ensuring that a buyer is getting what is representative, whether a safe can of soup or shares in a firm where the risk of fraudulent corporate behavior has been minimized. It's worth noting that in neither case is risk entirely eliminated. The point isn't the removal of all risk, which is impossible, but enough risk reduction that purchasers have overwhelming confidence that they know what they are buying. Now, log in CP. Go Big Red. Oh, yeah, Go Big Red. Just as it would be outrageous for Safeway to tell Campbell's whom they must hire, as if Safeway knows the best way to make soup, or to get involved with any other ordinary aspect of corporate governance, it would also be outrageous for a stock exchange to tell a firm how to operate beyond the sorts of investors' protections noted above to maintain a listing on the exchange. But here it comes. On Tuesday, NASDAQ, the second largest stock exchange operator in the world, announced that they would file a proposed rule with the Securities and Exchange Commission to, I'm going to pause for a moment. Thank you, Fight for Your Rights. $5 super chat through YouTube and no message, but thank you so much. I appreciate the donation. That every penny helps. That is awesome. You are awesome. On Tuesday, NASDAQ, the second largest stock exchange operator in the world, announced that they would file a proposed rule with the Securities and Exchange Commission to, according to the Wall Street Journal, quote, listen to this, require listed companies to have at least one woman on their boards, in addition to the director, and in addition to a director who is a racial minority, or one who self-identifies as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or queer. A requirement to have at least one woman, and one racial minority, or someone who self-identifies as LGBTQ. There are so many problems with this proposal, even beyond its parody wokeness. The first problem is fundamental. Other than legislators and regulators, the only people who have the authority to compel a company's behavior are its owners and the management hired and paid by those owners. For publicly traded companies, those owners are shareholders. The management directly selected by the owners is the board of directors, who in turn select executive management. I don't have an objection if a company wants to put an African transgender pygmy on its board if she's qualified to serve. And if I am not a shareholder, I don't care at all because it's not any of my business. As someone who has served on a couple of small boards of directors, I know the goal is success. If that addition increases the chances of success, then great. Furthermore, it's not ridiculous to believe that a board comprised solely of straight white guys might, depending on the markets they are trying to serve, benefit from the additions of members with different backgrounds and experience. But it's not the same thing as having a third party with no ownership of the company demand we comply with their idea of what is best for us. I repeat, it's literally none of their damn business.
Your life makes me sad.
If they want to have a voice in corporate management, then they can buy shares in the company and try to get the question in front of the board or shareholders meetings. I presume that an exchange is barred from owning shares in other unaffiliated companies, so this path should not be available to NASDAQ, unfortunately. Thank you. A Horrible Gamer's here. I didn't even see you come in. Thank you, A Horrible Gamer, with the $5 super chat or donations through Streamlabs, and A Horrible Gamer.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Thank you so much. Who says, PDawg, did you see the Michigan election hearing? I nearly fell off my chair listening to the testimonies. That Democrat bald bitch could suck my balls. Suck my balls. By the way, YouTube did not let me super chat this message. Yeah, they super chat. YouTube super chat is a little more censorious in some ways, and it's weird though because there's things I could say on some people's platform, and I'll write out a super chat right for somebody, and I'm like, how is it? What is it? Sometimes you have to figure out what it is exactly it's not letting you say, because sometimes you write a super chat that's completely innocuous, but it still won't let you do it, and you have to experiment with every word in the sentence. And sometimes it's something if you phrase something the wrong way, like, you know, it doesn't let you do it. I'm like, what the hell? So then you have to go through Streamlabs, which I like Streamlabs better anyway if you can. So and thank you, Mr. Scott, also with the Streamlabs donation of $3.33 and a little Shaq dance there, who says, it's been 1 year since I found your show. How do you, well, I appreciate you being here. And in fact, Mr. Scott, you've been a great supporter of the show. I'm going to call this your PDawg Night anniversary. And thank you for being here for a year. So, by the way, if you're here lurking or just watching the background or got here because someone else told you this would be a great place to show up every once in a while, got to remind you to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and click the bell to make sure that you get notifications. Or you can follow me on Twitter, mine's Gab or Farley, because I put out notifications about 5-6 minutes before the show each day on those platforms also. So thank you. And again, thank you guys for the generous donations. I appreciate that. Back to this article. So anyway, NASDAQ is trying to dictate to companies listed on their exchange. It's so weird. Anyway, it's difficult to imagine a stranger situation than having in the United States of America in 2020 an obvious token black or token Hispanic or token woman on the board of directors. Would you, presuming you are a serious person worthy of being on the board of a public company, want to have people look at you and think, she's only here because the company has to have someone with girl parts and dark skin on the board? It's so incredibly insulting. And here's the thing. See, here's what's going to happen. I'm predicting this if this actually becomes a rule. This is not going to benefit any of these companies, but there's going to be, you know how there are people who are on multiple boards of companies? I would have a feeling that they're just going to have a name. They're going to put a name on their board just so they can say they're on the board, right? And there's going to be a few people who probably already are multimillionaires, who will end up on the board at Nike. And someone will say, oh, well, we need a black person for our board. Maybe we should ask them because they already know what to do on the boards. They'll be on the board of another company and on the board of another company. And they'll be there. They'll have their little token name. They can say, oh, yeah, so it's, Demetrius, Demetrius Wilson's on our board. So we have a black man on our board. Oh, and then also, Martha Smith over there, she's on our board too. And she's on the board of Nike and, it's names. I can't even think of the names of companies. It's just, it's amazing that they would do this. Anyway, so that's all I'm going to read. There's more of that, but FTG NASDAQ. Oh my goodness. Good Lord. All right, real quick. I'm going to run my commercial and then we'll be back and we'll finish up the show. I'll see you in 1 minute. Hey everybody, it's me, Marty. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I hope you're enjoying the show. The Morning Night Live is sponsored by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please, if you have a moment, take time to share this stream by hitting that little arrow down below or up here if you're on a mobile. And please hit the like button. I know you like it if you're still here and you're still watching. And finally, if you want to support the show, you can do that through your donations and super chats, which are in the description down below. You can do that at Streamlabs link or at PDawgKnight.live. That every little bit helps. And thank you for watching. Now back to the show. All right, and I'm back and coming back to a super chat from Select a Boy. Yeah, boy. Thank you for the $5 through the YouTube super chat system, who says, remember when YouTube wasn't a censorship cesspool? I do. Yes, I do. So I kind of been, let's see, how long? I've been on YouTube since 2016 is when I actually put this channel together. Although I really didn't start actively using it until last year. I mean, I used it basically. I made videos here and there, but I can't say that I was an active YouTuber. And now I obviously have my daily Monday through Friday show, and I should be making videos more often, but I still make videos here and there. And but yeah, it all kind of started with the first adpocalypse, and they've been changing their algorithm just to be censorious bastards. But anyway, so let's move on. More FTGs. So you may have heard, now I haven't really commented on this story. Holy. So you may have heard the story of Sarah Fuller. Sarah Fuller. Do you recognize that name? Sarah Fuller? So Sarah Fuller is the goalie for the Vanderbilt University soccer team. And a big damn deal was made this weekend. Hang on a second. Vanderbilt kicker. Here we go. Big damn deal was made this last weekend because Sarah Fuller was added to the roster of Vanderbilt's football team. And Sarah Fuller became the first woman to well, let me put out they play it here. Let me just find this real quick. They made such a big deal out of this. So the first woman to play in a Big Five conference football game. Now, to say that she played in the game, I would call that quite generous. But she did do the kickoff in the second half. And let me, for those who may think that I am criticizing Sarah Fuller, absolutely not. I'm not criticizing Sarah Fuller. Good for Sarah Fuller, right? But this was a stunt. Sarah Fuller, she kicks like a girl. No, don't say that. I know some women soccer players that kick the hell out of a football. And so it's not that, okay? But this was a publicity stunt for Vanderbilt University and nothing else. If you watch the kick, I'm trying to find the video of her kicking. Here, I think is this it? Where's the video? I know there's a video coming up here somewhere. Here, all right. So if you watch this, first of all, here's my problem. I think Clay, what's the dude's Clay that does Outkick? I can't remember his name, but I was listening to him this morning and he made a good point. It's like, so apparently Vanderbilt had 3 kickers on their roster. All of them were out with COVID or something like that. And so they said Vanderbilt needs to go find a kicker, right? And, you know, they decided to, you know, get Sarah Fuller from the women's soccer team. Okay. There's one problem. Vanderbilt has a punter. Now, it's not the same as doing kickoffs and field goals. However, in most programs, kickers and punters kind of can do the job of both, right? And the punter, because Vanderbilt's a very bad team, is getting a lot of experience punting the ball. And so the stunt of getting Sarah Fuller to come be their kicker, I almost feel bad for Sarah Fuller because she got used as far as I'm concerned. So here's the video from her kick, and there's a couple things on here. You know, now they say this was an intentionally squibbed kick. I don't believe that for a second, but who knows? Maybe it is. Maybe they did say kick it to where she kicks it. So here's the kick. They made a big deal about this. Okay. Because first of all,
and the kick down at the 35.
That's not even a good squib. If that was a squib kick, it's not a good squib kick. Okay. Now it's possible they said to do that. I think she just mishit it because kicking a football is a lot different than kicking a soccer ball. Now, the other interesting thing here, I'm going to have you watch this again. I'm going to pause it in a couple different places. So here we go. This is it. They're showing her doing this. And I'm going to stop right here. Notice there is a holder holding this right here. She's not kicking it off a tee. Now, I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe she's used to kicking the ball off the ground, and maybe she didn't get a lot of time to practice this. But also notice the 3 guys, or at least the 2 down here on this end of this side of the field. You can see my cursor there. See down on this side of the field? I'm gonna go another frame here real quick. Anyone know what I'm about to say? There should have been a flag on this play because this defender is offsides. He outran the kicker. And notice the reaction of the other players after this kick. Now, okay, so she just gets rid of the ball. The other players are going back. And then this player went down.
And the kick down at the 35-yard line.
And she's running off the field already. So
Happy Thanksgiving.
Now, you know what? I don't begrudge Sarah Fuller, okay? But this is absolutely a stunt. And so a couple things have come up since then. First of all, from Outkick, Clay Travis, that's who I was trying to think of. From Outkick, Vanderbilt Sarah Fuller publicity stunt, including a halftime speech. What? Now remember, at the halftime, they were down 21-0. Okay, 21-0. If you were on the fence about whether Vanderbilt using soccer goalie Sarah Fuller as a fill-in kicker for Saturday's game against Missouri was a publicity stunt or a necessity, you got your answer on Sunday when it was announced that Fuller had given a halftime speech to her new teammates. Now, oh, by the way, here's the other thing. So, Vanderbilt University, very, very, very nice school, and I think it's in Nashville, Tennessee, I believe. Great school, right? Now, let's say you have a football team, right? You have a football team at Vanderbilt University, and you have a punter who could probably also do kickoffs, by the way, because that's a lot of punters punt and kick in high school, so they probably do both. So the idea that they needed to go seek out and go grab someone from the women's soccer team, bullshit. But also, now I didn't play college football, but I did play football in high school. And occasionally, I could not kick field goals, but I was good at kicking off the ball. Now, I didn't get to do that in high school, but our All-American linebacker in high school kicked all the kickoffs, and we had a separate kicker who kicked field goals. He was a linebacker because he could kick the ball a country mile, but he wasn't that accurate at kicking field goals, but he was much better at doing kickoffs. And I've got to tell you, most college football teams probably have somebody who plays who can also kick besides the normal kickers who kick field goals. And if they didn't, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of former high school kickers who attend college. They could have sought somebody out. But instead, they decided to do a publicity stunt. Anyway, keep in mind... Oh, what the hell happened there? Where's the rest of the article? Anyway, it was announced that Sarah Fuller had given a halftime speech. What the hell here? Oh, for some reason, the article... Oh, I see. You have to be a member to read the whole article. Anyway, yeah, she gave a halftime speech to the team. Well, another development in this story, and that would be Sarah Fuller was named the SEC Special Teams Player of the Week after kicking the ball 30 yards. Now, there's rumors, there's a few Vanderbilt players who are not happy about this. They are not happy and may not make the trip to the game. They play Georgia this weekend, but I believe she is on the roster for the Georgia game this weekend. I got a feeling. I have a feeling that she won't at least be forced to kick any field goals. But she's on the roster against Georgia, and I'm so concerned. I'm so concerned. If she actually does a kickoff and then the Georgia players decide to return that kick, I just hope there's no assholes on the Georgia roster. Because I'll tell you what, kick return teams love to wipe out the kicker. Just saying. If you get a chance to run to the kicker and plow through a kicker, they love to do that. So I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, Vanderbilt's kicker Sarah Fuller has received a huge honor from the Southeastern Conference following her one kick against Missouri. Remember, they only had... That's the other thing. She kicked the ball an entire number of one time in that game because Vanderbilt got smoked 41-0. And so she only got to kick off the second half opening kick. There were no field goal attempts. There was nothing. She had nothing because they were hoping that she would get a chance to be the first person to score, first woman to score in a top five. Because by the way, I think there's one other woman who played not in a top tier school, the Power 5 conference, who is a kicker, and she's kicked field goals, and I can't remember what school she's from. And then there's one, I'll have to look this one up, but there's a woman who got a scholarship to play community college football, and now some school in Missouri gave her a scholarship to play Division I college football. Now, her highlights do not, let's put it this way. I've been a coach, multiple sports, but mainly a basketball coach for just over 30 years. Okay. And I know a little bit about college recruiting because I had to help my own son navigate college recruiting for basketball. And I know a little bit about football. And I can tell you when a player actually has some interest from college scouts for football. And I've seen lots of highlight tapes. And highlight reels of players are really pretty useless when it comes to scouting, because they only show the great things that the player does, and people think making a highlight tape's a good idea, but college coaches would rather just see a video of an entire game, be it football, basketball, whatever sport you play. And the girl who got the college scholarship to play football in Missouri has a highlight tape. But the highlight tape only has 3 plays. 3 plays, which I believe is every tackle she ever made in high school. She made 3 tackles in high school, but she got a scholarship to go to a community college, and then now some school picked her up to put her on the roster. Sounds like another publicity stunt. But anyway, following her kick against Missouri to open the second half, the SEC named her the Special Teams Player of the Week along with Florida's Kadarius Toney. The SEC wrote, quote, "She took the opening kickoff in the second half against the Tigers as her perfectly executed kick sailed 30 yards and was downed at the Missouri 35-yard line." Perfectly executed kick. Sailed 30. Now, think about this. You're playing football for Vanderbilt. You're down 21-0. You're hoping to at least make a good showing of this game because you're 0-7. And you're 0-7 and your coach's job's on the line, and you're thinking, okay, we want to, the goal of football is to, you want that kickoff to be farther down the field so they can't either make it a touchback, or so that your defense has time to get down there and tackle the person and maybe hold them near the 20 or 25 at best. And her 30-yard kick was down at the Missouri 35-yard line. That's the SEC writing this. Her perfectly executed kick. SEC football special teams player of the week. Now, the writer here says this circus needs to end. It's one thing to talk about how cool it is for Fuller to be the first woman ever to play in a Power 5 game, but let's stop with this nonsense. She kicked the ball 30 yards, and Vanderbilt lost 41-0, and she had literally no impact on the game. At some point, we have to wake up and face reality. And she made it on Sports Center and everything. At some point, we have to admit that we're honestly insulting female. Now, this is my point. I think it's an insult, and they used her for a publicity stunt, and I think it's awful as far as that goes. Not for her, but for just, well, you know what I mean. At some point, we have to admit that we're honestly insulting female athletes by pretending what Fuller did was spectacular. There are some unreal female athletes out there, and nobody really talks about them. Yet Fuller kicks a ball 30 yards, and she's headed straight to the Hall of Fame. The craziest part about this situation is that Fuller addressed the team at halftime and criticized their attitude. Oh, wait a minute. I'm coming back to this. Thank you, Black Hebrew is your light.
That's right.
For the $2 via Streamlabs, who says, I identify as a black masculine presenting transgender lesbian. Give me a job.
That's right.
I won the Oppression Olympics.
That's right.
Well, you may be able to kick off for Vanderbilt. Now, imagine your kicker who's being used for nothing more than a PR stunt, getting up and ripping the team. Yeah, she ripped him for their attitude. Players should have refused to take the field for Derek Mason, who was fired Sunday in the second half. That is the coach. He got fired. Just got off a Zoom call with Vanderbilt kicker Sarah Fuller, who detailed the halftime speech he gave at the reception it received. I had coaches come up to me and say, I've been wanting to say that for a while now. So here's her speech. Let's see what she said here. This is awful. If I'm going to be honest, I was a little pissed off at how quiet everybody was on the sideline. We made a first down and I was the only one cheering, and I was like, what the heck? What's going on? And I tried to get them pumped up, and I was like, you guys need to start your team on. I think she meant cheer your team on. My main thing was during the SEC tournament, this Vanderbilt soccer, women's soccer, was the SEC champion. My main thing was during the SEC tournament, my entire team was cheering the entire time. It didn't matter if we were in the locker room or if we were on the sidelines. I think that's what won it for us. Everybody was cheering nonstop. I just went in there and I said exactly what I was thinking. I was like, we need to be cheering each other on. This is how you win games. This is how you get better, is by calling each other out for stuff. And I'm going to call you guys out. We need to be supporting one another. If we get a first down, if an interception happened, it's our fault. We need to be lifting each other up. That's what team's about. I think this team has struggled, and that's been part of it. We really just need to build that team camaraderie where they can all lean on one another. It was an adjustment going from that team mentality where, hey, we're all here supporting one another, and I just wanted to bring that to this team. I'm sure those guys were thrilled. Anyway, I just got to say, if you don't understand the absurdity of the entire situation, you're not living in a reality. Well, on Twitter, unfortunately, everyone thought this was just wonderful. Now, here's the Bleacher Report tweet. Sarah Fuller becomes the first woman to play in a Power 5 game. Now, a lot of people saw this. Some people, it's all cute and a publicity stunt till she has to tackle. And so this guy's, there are grown-ass men who in the NFL who can't tackle. In the NFL? Missed the point. Thanks for participating, though. You failed to make one. Thanks for trying, though. Do you really think she could tackle a 200-pound man running back, a kickoff? No, but neither can other kickers, aside from maybe 3. Well, I know some kickers. Well, our kicker could, because our kicker was an All-American linebacker. Let's just say the Twitter was woke central. Anyway, I have an FTG SEC. Sorry, that was a terrible idea as far as I'm concerned. So FTG to the SEC. All right. I think that's got to be it for today, guys, because I can't be late because I have to stop and get gas. And unfortunately, that means I have to ski-daddle. Thanks, everybody, for showing up today. Thank you for everyone who's been doing donations. That was fantastic. And I'll be back tomorrow. And I might have a guest. Well, am I going to guest tomorrow? Oh, no, not tomorrow. That's next week. Sorry. Tomorrow we'll just have a regular old show on the Morning Night Live, if you can call anything we do regular here. Thank you so much for y'all coming, though. Before you do anything like click away or go to somewhere else or click that X thing on the top of your window there, make sure you click the thumbs up right down here, right below. It's probably right over there, I'm guessing. I've never really looked to see where it is on the screen, but click the thumbs up before you go. And if you have time or have the patience, share the stream. If you're watching on replay, put a comment in the comment section so that I know you're here. And finally, donations. A lot of people do donations through YouTube Super Chats. Also, 24 hours a day, Streamlabs is open, and Venmo and Cashapp, which are all in the description down below. That's it for today, people. I do have to go. My name is PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is PDawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here.